Hi again, everyone. Gary Digital Williams here on Boxing Law on the Beltway. Our news and notes for this week, and actually, really isn't our news and notes. This is actually a special report, as we are recording this shortly after Dusty Hernandez Harrison winning the vacant USBA Welterweight Championship, a 10-round unanimous decision in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. We're brought to you by Real-Time Pain Relief. From boxers to ballerinas, for shoulder pain to muscle strain, and everything in between, Boxing Law on the Beltway recommends Real-Time Pain Relief. Natural, plant-based, safe, fast, and effective ointment. Rub it on. The pain is gone in real time. And don't forget, if you go to www.freepainoffer.com and order $10 worth of real-time pain relief, you get a free $10 tube of real-time pain relief. Well, Dusty Hernandez Harrison, his biggest win in his pro career, and one of his better wins, no question about that, as it all was said and done. 10-round unanimous decision today over Thomas Cornflake LaManna out of Millerville, New Jersey. It was on the CBS Sports Network from the 2300 Arena in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Now, I thought overall Harrison fought a great fight. He really did, especially in the latter stages. First couple of rounds, a little concerned. I thought he got off to a slow start. Maybe it was part of the game plan. That may have been it, to see what LaManna had and then act accordingly in the middle into the late rounds. And that's apparently what happened. You know, that's definitely what happened, because first couple of rounds, LaManna was able to shoot his jab. He used his height. He had a couple of inches over Harrison. But I think Harrison realized that LaManna has no power, and that proved to be his undoing. I mean, the commentators, who, by the way, I thought were horrible, but that's another story. I'll save that for the News and Notes podcast later on. But the commentators were horrible, and They focused on LaManna looking drawn, and maybe he did, but I gotta be honest with you. LaManna has fought 5 times between 147 and 152. I think he's used to it by now. He may not look the part, but he at least was used. He'd been there before. Let's put it that way. But be that as it may, I think the bottom line with LaManna was the same thing that happened when he lost to Antoine Douglas. He couldn't keep Antoine off of him. And I think Dusty, although he doesn't have nearly the power that Antoine Douglas does, I think Harrison was able to definitely use some good shots. He landed some brutal right hands at times, right hooks, and some uppercuts as well. And he was able to eventually wear and dominate the bout the rest of the way. He didn't knock LaManna down, of course, but I think he was able to dominate the bout the rest of the way. The scores were 98-92 and 97-93 twice. I have no problem with that. I think from the 4th to 5th round on, it was pretty much all Dusty Hernandez Harrison. So big win for him, no question about that. He'll be in the top 15 in the world when the next IBF rankings come out. He's the brand new USBA welterweight champion. That's a big, big step for him. And he seems to have settled now under the tutelage of Barry Hunter for, I believe, the 3rd time that they've worked together. He's now 30-0-1 with 16 KOs. LaManna falls to 21-2, 9 KOs. As we said, both his losses have come against Beltway boxers back in May of 2013 on another nationally televised bout on Showtime. Antoine Douglas knocked out LaManna in the 6th round. Again, LaManna was way over his head in that particular point. And LaManna's a good fighter. There's no question. He's a very good fighter. I think, again, the announcers made too much of the friendship between the two guys. They sparred together, but going into this fight, both these guys were learning under new people. As we said, Barry Hunter has been working with Dusty now for 3 bouts, and Ray McCline was working with LaManna for the very first time. So although they knew each other, they didn't know what to expect in this particular case. And I think that it was a different situation at this point. So, yeah, I didn't think that was as big a deal as the announcers tried to make it out to be at this point. But suffice it to say, it's a huge win for Hernandez Harrison. It was kind of interesting that there was another guy who was in the same boat as Dusty once was. Devin Haney on the card, who turned pro at 17, has been a little farther early on than Dusty was. Dusty had 5 fights at the age of 17. Haney's already had 10 fights now. And it's just interesting to compare the two, but it leads you to a major point. And for Dusty, it led him to this point. Again, the USBA Welterweight Championship, big title for him. And he's got a lot of options now going forward. He's got a lot of options in that welterweight division. Welterweight division is a great division. And right now, Dusty Hernandez Harrison is right in the thick of it now, as he is the brand new USBA welterweight champion. So congratulations to Dusty Hernandez Harrison and his camp. We're back later on next week with a real news and notes podcast. Been a little slow on those this week. A lot of things going on outside the boxing world for yours truly. So we apologize for not being able to bring you a news and notes podcast. Has some changes going on in the next few weeks. So we'll tell you this. The Saturday, October 15th card that was scheduled for the ABC Sports Complex in Springfield, Virginia, that has been postponed until later on in the year. So that was about the card we talked about with Tori Nelson going up to super middleweight to try to win a world title. But that card is now postponed. So that we can tell you there is a card scheduled still for September 30th, Friday, September 30th at the Sphinx Club. We still don't know much about that card other than the A side of the card, which is basically headbangers boxers. As I said, Patrick Harris, the debuts of Tierra Brown and Tariq Irby. But tell you the truth, I didn't even see the card on the agenda for the DC Boxing Wrestling Commission meeting, which was Thursday evening. So again, that card, we don't know. I mean, it's hard to tell what's happening with that card. As soon as we find out, we'll definitely let you know. But once again, the big story, Dusty Hernandez Harrison out of Southeast Washington, D.C., wins the vacant USBA welterweight title with a 10-round unanimous decision over Thomas LaManna at the 2300 Arena in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Congratulations to him as well. I'm Gary Digital Williams. Reminder, the Boxing on the Beltway Google app for Android brings you the Boxing on the Beltway News and Notes podcast in this special edition as well. And we're brought to you by Real-Time Pain Relief. From boxers to ballerinas, for shoulder pain to muscle strain, and everything in between, Boxing Along the Beltway recommends Real-Time Pain Relief. Natural, plant-based, safe, fast, and effective ointment. Rub it on. The pain is gone in real time. I'm Gary Digital Williams. Thanks for joining us, everybody. And always remember to keep supporting the best boxing in the world. The Boxing Along the Beltway. Take care.